Hi everyone, so what dashcam do I use in my videos, and can I show you how to install one yourself? Those are the two most common questions I get asked over and over again. So in this video I'm finally going to reveal the secret dashcam I use. The dashcam I use is this one in my hands right now. So what do you reckon it is? Do you think it's maybe one of the big name dashcams? Well no, it's probably one that you've never heard of. So the dashcam I use, cue drumroll, probably haven't got a drumroll sound effect, but the dashcam is, ta-da! There it is. It's a Mbps I. You're probably thinking, what's a Mbps I? Well, I'll put a link in the description to a place you can buy these. Now, this is the original Mbps I, but there is a 4K version just come out. This can record 4K, but there is one called the Mbps I 4K, which is updated. So I bought this in, I think it was March 2018, February or March 2018. And this is one of the things I love about this dashcam and why I consider this to be probably the best dashcam in the world. Now, it isn't actually a dashcam. It wasn't built for that purpose, but it's brilliant. Now, one of the reasons, probably the most important, is image quality. If you watch my videos, it depends what screen you watch on, because if I watch them on my computer screen, they don't look as good, but on my TV, they look brilliant. I think the image quality is fantastic. It records at, I think it's 18 megabits a second, it might be 20, I can't remember. I will do a separate video if you want, going over all of the technical stuff. But the number one thing you want from a dashcam is image quality. There is no point in having a dashcam that's got all these fancy features like GPS, and it shows you where you are on a map, and it shows you your speed, and it can do voice control, and it can play the national anthem and tell you jokes, and you can link it to your phone. But the image quality sucks. And when you really need it, you play it back, and it's playing the national anthem and telling you jokes, but you can't read the number plate of the car that hit you and drove off, which has happened to me. So that's the number one thing, image quality, and it's great. Now yes, it could be better, and there are cameras out there that have better quality, but you're going to be looking at paying a lot more, and I think this is fantastic. You may have noticed I said I've had it for 6 years, and over 6 years something I've done a lot is this. I've dropped it over and over and over again. In the car, in the house, you're taking it out, you drop it. No damage. It's got barely any scratches on it. It still works. Durability and reliability is key, because with a lot of these fancy top of the range, hundreds of pound dash cams, you drop them, it's gone. £400 just gone. You've scratched it, you've dented it, it doesn't work anymore. These have been dropped on concrete, on the floor of my house, on the desk, in my lap, on the road. I've dropped them, and they're 6 years old. And I'll say them because you notice there's a number 1 on there. That's number 1. I liked it so much, I bought another, number 2, and another, number 3. And they are great. It's my little family of dashcams. Now, I am soon going to be upgrading them, maybe, but I've had them for 6 years and they're so brilliant, there's no need to upgrade them. I keep looking every year for new dashcams, and there's one that's just come out recently and it costs £440. And yes, it's got more features than this. Yes, it's got GPS and voice control. It's also got a monthly subscription. You have to pay per month to use it. No thanks, this is free. When you bought it, it just works, no subscription. If you want me to do a full overview of this, I can, like a technical video. You see the USB port there, it's a USB mini, one of these sort of older style ones. I've plugged that in and out. Let's work it out. 2, 3 or 4, let's say I've done it 4 times a day. In the car, in, out, in the PC, in, out. 4 times a day for 6 years. Yes, during 2020 I didn't use it as much, but I still did. I reckon that's been had a USB cable in and out thousands of times, and it still works. The memory cards I use, 512GB cards I use, never had any problems. Well, let's be fair, I've had, I think, 2 occasions it's let me down. There are 2 times that I've been driving and it stopped recording, which were normally not the camera. It's because the USB cable came out of I've got like an adapter in my car to plug in different sockets, and it came out of the adapter. I think that's what it was. There have been a couple of times it stopped recording and I don't know why. It's probably because my car is a driving school car and people stall it, and if they stall and then they turn back on, it can kind of send a surge of electric. I think that's what it is. So when I stall, I'll make sure the red light on the back is still flashing, but they're very reliable. The only real issue I've had with this of all has been, let me tell you how good these cameras are. This is going to explain the only reliability issue I've had, but why these cameras are so brilliant and why I've kept them. I was going to replace these about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I thought I've had them a couple of years, it's time to upgrade. And there's a mode in here called Fine, which is either recording quality, fine. Then there is another one above that called Super Fine. And when you go to put it on Super Fine, it does say warning. This is kind of pushing, it's like overclocking the camera, it's pushing it beyond its limits. We don't recommend using it. And I thought, well, seeing as I'm going to get a new camera anyway, I'll just use that because, you know, why not? If it breaks, I'm getting a new one anyway. When I put it into Super Fine mode, it was like buying a new camera. The quality went up so much I didn't even bother buying a new camera. And I've been using this in super fine quality mode, beyond what it's supposed to be able to do, for about 3 or 4 years. The only issue with that super fine mode is that when it gets above 20 degrees air temperature outside, I've noticed on hot days it makes the audio go. So it's fine normally, but when the temperature gets above 20 degrees, I might put a clip on in the video now of how it sounds. I think I saved one from years ago, but it kind of, the sound goes kind of like, and you just get white noise. That's only because it's overheating a little bit, but it doesn't stop recording. The video's fine. You can hear the audio. It's just a bit kind of muted. But that's the only issue I've ever had. And if you don't put it in super fine mode, the audio's fine. I think you can even plug in, yeah, I'm sure I've got a microphone for this. You can plug a microphone in if you want through the USB thing. There's an adapter, but I never used that. I used this microphone instead. But I recommend this. It's a brilliant camera. Wasn't designed as a dash cam. It's meant actually for people who have radio controlled airplanes. You put them on little airplanes because they're so light. You can put them on an airplane or a drone. You can fly them around. But they are brilliant for use as a dash cam. If you do want to see a more in-depth review, I can go over it. But in my recent New Year's Eve video, I did mention that I was going to have a lot of changes this year, and my dash cams are one of the first things that may be changing. But the thing is, I still to this day, in January 2024, I still can't find a better dash cam. Yes, there are more expensive ones, and yes, some have like polarised lenses because you get a bit of glare sometimes on this one off the sun or off the dashboard. But you can't beat this for me. You plug it in, you know it's going to work. 6 years, hundreds, probably thousands of hours of video, dropping them in the rain. I've held them out in the rain in my hand. I normally go out to the car with them under my jumper like that to protect them. I've dropped them in the snow, dropped them in the ice. And I'm not that clumsy, it's just these things happen when you're taking them out of the car, you're carrying them in your house, you get your house keys out, it just happens, you drop them now and then. It's a great dash cam, and I thoroughly recommend this. The one thing you've got to watch when you buy these, this is very important, you want to get the super capacitor version, not the battery version. So simply, inside here is what you call a super capacitor. But it does normally come with a battery, Now batteries, you press record and it records off the battery, we all know that. But the problem is, when I recorded a video back in 2014, I think it was, 10 years ago, I recorded a driving lesson with Emma. And I had one of these. It was actually the older version. This is the original Mobius. It's still going. This is pedal cam, everyone. My famous original dash cam. Still a great camera. Lighter than this one. The video looks lighter, but it only records at 30 FPS. That's probably why. But anyway, I was recording with this, with the battery in another one of these. And then after a 1 hour driving lesson, I could smell. Say to the people, what's that smell? I said, oh, I don't know. As I was driving home, I could smell burning, and there was battery acid leaking out, dripping onto my gear stick. You don't want to record with the battery in, because what happens is the battery overheats. If you're constantly charging a battery, and this applies to action cameras and whatever, if you're constantly pumping power into it to use as a dash cam, it damages the battery, and mine leaked, which you don't want battery acid leaking on your gear stick. That could be very painful. So you want what's called a supercapacitor. It's like a very tiny battery that only just holds enough power to store like the date and the time for a few days. But if you turn this on now, the battery supercapacitor will drain within about 3 seconds. So simply it doesn't ever leak or blow up or whatever like a battery would, because it doesn't hold that much power. You can buy them with the supercapacitor pre-installed. I actually put these in myself. They're a bit of a pain to open. You have to have those very small precision screwdrivers. Very simple, you just take it apart, undo the battery, plug in the capacitor. But they do now sell them with the capacitor pre-installed. Don't buy the one with the battery. Trust me on that. Go for the supercapacitor. I'll end this video soon because it's going to get quite long, but I hope that's answered your questions about my dashcam. I would like to do a video showing you me installing them, or maybe I'll get someone else to install it to show you how simple it is, because I don't do DIY. I hate DIY. Don't do DIY. Not a DIYer. And even I can install one of these. It takes about 5 minutes if you do it slowly. It's simple to put this in your car. You don't need any technical knowledge. All you need is this and a 3 meter long USB cable. And maybe an adapter if you want to have 2 or 3 of them in your car at the same time as I do on the pedals and the front camera, rear camera, whatever. So there you go. It's a Mobius I. Probably the 4K version is the one to go for now. That can do 4K I think at 30 FPS, and I think it's slightly improved from this one. But there is some great free software that comes with this. You can tinker around with the settings, the lightness, the brightness, whatever. But there you go. Check out these other videos on the screen now for more help. And if you do want to see more videos about dash cams, just let me know in the comments, visit my channel, check out my other videos. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.